I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. OG boy. Day we hustle, but the night we OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I'm a OG boy.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had did a story about Kyle Rittenhouse where it says that he wants to sue, and I missed. Well, I kind of used words. Excuse me. That I don't know how to say it, but my apologies. Anyway, we have to be very careful. I had a viewer that gave me some tidbits and some information, and I really truly appreciate that individual. I really, really do. And it says that Kyle Rittenhouse threatens to sue Whoopi Goldberg for allegedly calling him a murderer. Now, I learned the difference from this individual, the difference between a murderer and a person that has been, you know, deemed innocent. So I thank God for that person for educating me, and it says as of February the 23rd, I actually saw him on Tucker Carlson, and he was saying that by people calling him a murderer is really causing him a lot of issues. And so, by me watching the verdict and all that stuff, people had their opinions. They were saying a lot of stuff. And me personally, I didn't agree with a lot of stuff that people were saying because, as they say, you got to let the courts decide what's right and what's wrong. So, like the person said, that if this young man was deemed a quote unquote murderer, then he would have been convicted of that crime. So we have to be careful when we say things of that nature. If a person has been acquitted for what we call a crime, and they say that he's innocent, we have to find different ways of saying what we feel. And to me, I didn't mean any harm if I ever used the word. So that's not something that I want to say about him. Um, he was acquitted. He was of all the charges in the shooting. There were certain things that were seen, certain things that were not seen by me. So I personally, I just want to read the story. It said Rittenhouse has compiled a list of media companies and individuals that he plans to take legal action against. 3 months after Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges in the shooting death of two protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin, he now plans to sue the media, celebrities, politicians, and athletes, including Whoopi Goldberg, for calling him a murderer and a white supremacist. I never heard that about him. I never heard that this boy was a white supremacist, so that's new to me. So, hey, That's new to me. And if he is, that's none of their business what he does on his spare time. So let me see. As reported by Yahoo, Rittenhouse 19 appeared on Tucker Carlson tonight, Monday, to speak about launching the Media Accountability Project to raise money to pay for his potentially hefty legal fees. Okay, so Rittenhouse says he and his team have compiled a list of media companies and individuals that they plan to face off against in court for the lies they said about him. Right now, we're looking at quite a few. Rittenhouse said politicians, celebrities, athletes, Whoopi Goldberg on the list. She called me a murderer after I was acquitted by a jury of my peers. She went on to still say that, and there's others. Don't forget about, I don't know who this person is, I'm sorry, from the Young Turks. He called me a murderer before the verdict and continues to call me a murderer now. He's still calling him one. So I can't control what people say, but I know one thing: I need to control whatever I say. So I also learned that even if it's in my opinion, it's still damaging to that person's character. I could be held accountable. So all you people out here that's reporting on Kyle Rittenhouse, you better be careful what you say about him. If you put videos out about him still calling him the M word after he's been acquitted, you need to stop, because he's going to come after you. In November, Rittenhouse was acquitted of all charges after pleading self-defense in the deadly Kenosha shooting, the Associated Press reported. But this is the thing that got me. People were lying and saying that this young man went across county lines to, place himself in harm's way. That was not true. That was absolutely not true. And I said that before. That's not true. He was already in that city taking care of business. And I think, if I'm not 100% sure, he was working in that same city. So people come up with all kinds of stuff to say to make a story, and I think it's crazy. You don't know. You weren't there with him that night. You wasn't in his circle. You didn't go to his house. You didn't walk with him. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the teenager, per the Associated Press, had been charged with homicide, attempted homicide, and reckless endangerment after killing 2 men and wounding a third with an AR-style semi-automatic rifle during a tumultuous night of protest over police violence against black people in the summer of 2020. The overwhelmingly white jury deliberated for close to 3.5 days. Rittenhouse, who is white, as were those he shot, was facing life in prison if found guilty on the most serious charge of first-degree murder. So I want to play this video for you guys to hear for yourself. And I don't mean to use anybody else's video, but you guys have to listen to him in his own words. And this
So the question is, after a full year of watching these people lie in order to imprison a kid for the rest of his life, who's going to hold the liars accountable? Kyle Rittenhouse, understandably, has thought a lot about this. He joins us tonight to explain his plan going forward. Kyle, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I can't think of many people who've been at the receiving end of this much sinister lying from so-called news organizations as you have. How are you going to respond?
Well, Tucker, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project as a tool to help fundraise and hold the media accountable for the lies they said and deal with them in court.
Interesting. So the idea is, maybe like the Covington Catholic kids, you will be suing news organizations that maliciously lie about people who are in the news? Is that the plan?
Yes, sir. We're going to be holding them accountable, Tucker.
Do you, I guess I have to ask a kind of a dumb question, but why isn't there a group like this that exists already, since the media so often are not observers, they're players, they're participants in the news? Why hasn't someone done this before?
That's a good question, Tucker, and I'm not sure, to be honest, but I don't want to see anybody else have to deal with what I went through. So I want to hold them accountable for what they did to me, because I don't want to see anybody have to go through what I went through.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to imprison you for the rest of your life. It wasn't coverage, it was advocacy. You have a lot of potential targets to sue yourself. Will you be suing any of these news organizations, and if so, when?
Well, right now we're looking at quite a few.
Okay, I didn't want to go into all of that, but here's some information down here I had no clue about. So let me finish. It said prior to the trial, this is what somebody is alleging. Okay, they said that prior to the trial, Rittenhouse was labeled a white supremacist while out on bail after he appeared to flash a white power sign at a bar. NBC reported. I don't know nothing about that. See, this is the stuff right here. I knew nothing about this. So this is way beyond me. Rittenhouse told Carlson that he intends to sue anyone who called him a white supremacist. So is he going to sue for them calling him a murderer or a white supremacist? I'm not clear. But we're going to hold everybody who's lied about me accountable, Rittenhouse said, such as everybody who's lied called me a white supremacist. They're all going to be held accountable, and we're going to handle them in a courtroom. Well, I never knew anything about anybody calling this child a white supremacist. I've never heard it myself. Rittenhouse was 17 when he traveled from his home in Antioch, Illinois to Kenosha amid violent protests over the shooting of a black man, Jacob Blake, by a white police officer. Armed with a weapon that authorities said was illegally purchased for the teenager. Rittenhouse claimed his intention was to simply protect property and provide medical aid. Bystanders and drone video captured the critical moments leading to Rittenhouse killing Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and protest Anthony Huber, I think I'm saying it right, I hope so, no disrespect, 26, and wounded demonstrator, I don't know his last name, so I don't want to mess up anybody's name and show no disrespect, which is now 28 per the Associated Press. Rittenhouse explained to Carlson that the Media Accountability Project will support anyone who wants to sue the media. I don't want to see anybody else have to deal with what I went through, he said. So I didn't know anything about that at all, period, point blank. So I never called him a white supremacist or anything like that. So it appears that he's going after people that called him a white supremacist. And then there were people that were saying that he had I guess a white power or something or another. See, that's why I don't know nothing about it. But yeah, you got to be careful, like saying that he had this. If you didn't take pictures or have video footage of him having what you guys are saying that he had, then you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. But I had a individual, I forgot to write the name down, but they know who they are. Thank you for the legal advice, the legal tidbits. I appreciate you. So here you have it, you guys. Even after he's been cleared, they're calling this baby a white supremacist. They're calling him a murderer. Okay, so I don't understand. Wow, it's deep. So we'll see what happens. I want to follow this story. So you guys, like I said, be careful, what you're saying. I was so fortunate enough to have somebody on my page to actually, educate me. And that's an awesome thing. And I really appreciate that. So don't forget to hit that like button, post notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I would love to have that individual come on my platform and educate us further about the things that we should be careful that we are saying, and kind of give us examples of if this was, like they gave me an example saying that if I was at work and I spreaded a rumor, this is what the example that this individual gave me. If I was at work and I spread a rumor and said that my coworker was a single man, a deadbeat dad, had a bunch of children out of wedlock and all this stuff, and then come to find out that he was a married man, outstanding man, and he was indeed a very good father, that because I spread those rumors, I could be, held accountable. So you guys, we have to be careful what we say, because it is true, because someone could spread rumors about you and ruin your character. So again, like I said, thank you for the correction. Um, Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. So don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Post notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we're gonna follow the story to see exactly what takes place, okay? And hopefully some resolution can, be had. And I hope it really doesn't come to suing, because the way they wrote the story to me was like they're trying to say that he's only suing to pay for his hefty legal fees, which I don't think that's exactly what it is. I think he's saying you guys are still calling me something and I've been acquitted, so it's making it hard on me. So that's what I think it's all about. So you guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.